This is my final video of my crash course in Macbeth, my favourite Shakespeare play ever. I'm wearing my Shakespeare top to celebrate this video. If you missed my first two videos on Macbeth, catch up on those first and then come back to this one. We're going to get started on Act 4 and 5. If you want a clue about how much Macbeth has changed, then there is no better way to talk about his tragic downfall than a witch describing him as something wicked this way comes. Not someone, something. He has become dehumanized due to the extent of his evil. Can you believe that? This is the same man from the beginning of the play, and even the witches now think he's wicked. Macbeth demands that the witches give him more prophecies at any cost. Their first prophecy is, Macbeth, 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 beware Macduff, beware the Thane of Fife, which feeds Macbeth's existing paranoia anyway. The second and the third prophecies are new twists. They are deliberate riddles designed to trick Macbeth into thinking he's invincible. The second prophecy states, be bloody, bold, and resolute, for none of woman born shall harm Macbeth. So no one who's born from a woman can kill him. But everyone's born from a woman. So what does that mean? Does it mean no one can kill him? The plosive alliteration in B, combined with the triplet here, could refer to how Macbeth should feel confident and tough because no one will be able to defeat him. And then the third prophecy confirms his superpowers because it says no one can defeat Macbeth until Birnam Wood moves to Dunsnane. Now, obviously, a wood can't move. You ever seen a wood, like trees, move location? Doesn't make sense. So anyway, now he's got his fresh new prophecies and Macbeth decides to deal with the first one and seize upon Fife, give to the edge of the sword his wife, his babes, and all unfortunate souls. He is going to slaughter all of Macduff's family. He wants to punish him for going to England. And in the very next scene, we see Lady Macduff and her adorable, gorgeous young son having really cute conversations, but then the murderers come and kill them. This creates dramatic irony because the audience knows that Macduff's family has been murdered, but Macduff himself has no idea. Act 4, Scene 3 is a really emotive scene, with Macduff begging Malcolm to come back to save Scotland. He begs that each new morn, new widows howl, new orphans cry, new sorrows strike heaven on the face. The morn, a morning, should be a symbol for light, hope, optimism, a new start. But here, he's saying a new morn brings death and pain. The repetition shows the incessant killings of Macbeth. He has become a tyrant. However, to give you another interpretation for those grade 8s and 9s, we could argue that Macbeth hasn't actually changed. He's been killing people ruthlessly from day one. But when he was doing it for your country, you didn't have a problem with it. But now that he's doing it against your people, it's an issue. So perhaps Macbeth doesn't change at all, but our perception of him does. So, Malcolm isn't sure if Macduff is only there to get him back to Scotland so that he can kill him for Macbeth. So he tests Macduff out and says, look, I can't come back. I'm not worthy of becoming king. He says when his vices are opened in front of Macduff, Black Macbeth will seem as pure as snow. So there's colour imagery here which demonstrates that even the worst, darkest, most evil person would look pure as snow compared to Malcolm's sins. But then Macduff says, fine, you're not worthy to come back then. Your dad was Duncan. You should be ashamed of yourself. And Malcolm's like, I was only testing you to see if you genuinely want me to save Scotland or if you're just here to kill me for Macbeth. Let's go. Poor Macduff then finds out that his family has been killed by Macbeth, and he feels really guilty that he left them. He chose his country's interest over his family's. And Malcolm asks Macduff to dispute it like a man, like go fight for your family. To which Macduff replies, I shall do so, but I must also feel it as a man. That's a very progressive depiction of how men can be brave and sensitive at the same time. Now, Act 5 begins with a very different Lady Macbeth. She is not the woman she used to be. She is now sleepwalking and constantly washing her hands. Out, damn spot, out, I say. Hell is murky. Being queen is not all she thought it would be. Her husband is out there killing anyone he can find, and she is filled with remorse and guilt for her part to play in this. Here, the fragmented language depicts how broken down she has become. She's now directly addressing blood on her hands with the repetition of the imperative, out, out, conveying her desperation to take back what she did. It's ironic how she's still using imperatives, but they no longer have any power. The religious imagery in hell is an acknowledgement that there's no salvation for her. She knows that all the perfumes of Arabia will not sweeten this little hand. Oh, oh, oh. She uses hyperbole to exaggerate the magnitude of guilt she feels, a reversal of her earlier behavior. She seems hysterical. The repetition of that interjection, oh, represents her inability to take back what she has done. She is mourning her current state. Yet, the doctor says that nothing can be done. I do wonder what Shakespeare's message was about the consequences of giving women too much power. So the battle commences. Malcolm, Macduff, and the English army arrive to fight Macbeth, who is only surrounded by people who are scared of him, no one who respects him. Macbeth is feeling like he's the big man though. He's arrogant, he refuses to feel any fear, asking, "What's the boy, Malcolm? Was he not born of a woman?" These questions show how far the witches have influenced his psyche. Malcolm cleverly disguises his troops though by camouflaging their outfits against Birnam Wood so they can't be seen, so they look like the trees and stuff. Meanwhile, Macbeth states, "I have almost forgot the taste of fears," confessing that he has lost every aspect of his humanity. He receives the news that Lady Macbeth has killed herself. And even when his wife dies, he says, "She should have died hereafter. There would have been a time for such a thing. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow." The pronoun she should have, reveals his dismissive attitude towards his wife's death. She has lost her value. And the repetition of tomorrow almost mourns the fact that we're all so obsessed with thinking about our futures that we forget to appreciate the present moment. The polysyndeton also speeds up the pace of the line as if he's ready to focus on the battle again. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow, let's go. However, the play ends with a dramatic confrontation between Macduff and the tyrant Macbeth. Some insults are thrown around, yield coward. Macduff is fuming because this man killed a king, killed his whole family, and destroyed the country. Macbeth tries to scare Macduff by saying no one can kill him unless they have not been born from a woman. But Macduff makes a surprising revelation that, "Tell thee, Macduff was from his mother's womb untimely ripped." So basically he was born from a cesarean. The witches tricked Macbeth using their cryptic language and their equivocation into thinking that he was invincible. The adverb untimely emphasizes how Macduff will now end the time of Macbeth's reign. And despite this, Macbeth refuses to yield, to kiss the ground before young Malcolm's feet. And Macduff kills Macbeth. That's our moment of catharsis. It's the moment of kind of relief where you feel like justice has been served. And Malcolm restores moral order in Scotland by becoming king. So the witches were not completely right after all. And there you have it, a full summary with some key quotations and a little bit of analysis of Macbeth. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, give it a like and don't forget to check out the rest of the videos in this series.